People are sick of us talking messaging, and yet everybody needs it. You see, I've been doing politics now for almost 20 years, and in that entire time, the number one problem for Republican candidates or conservative candidates is messaging. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how you use it effectively so you can win, because we are, center-right, we are so bad at this. So Lane called me up and said, we're going to do some videos on this. So Lane, this is your thing. Get us going.
Well, we see a lot of candidates always talking, but not really having a point to what they're saying. And especially now, it's really hard to get people to retain what you're saying. So if you're just saying something different every time you talk, you're not going to actually say anything. Nobody's going to remember anything. So that's why having messaging is important, developing a theme and knowing what you're going to be saying from start to finish.
Let's talk about that theme, because it's amazing to me the number of candidates, as I train candidates around the country, even a couple months before Election Day. First question I ask, what's your theme? I get a blank stare almost every single time. Even in Tier 1 races, they usually don't have that basic of a thing. It is so important. It's an action statement. It's who you are and what you will do for the voters. In 6 seconds or less, you got to be able to say it, and it's got to be succinct. It's got to be clear and concise. Everybody knows the Trump campaign, so I'll explain what his theme is. It's a successful businessman and outsider who will make America great again. That's it. That's his simple theme. Then everything gets built off that. So what does that look like for you? Local businessman and leader who will make our city more affordable. Or local parent who will put you in charge of your kids' education. Or local community leader who will fight for you on the library board. I don't know. But think about what that is for you, because you need that foundational piece, because everything builds off of that. Your imagery, your logo, your branding, your messaging. And then as you put out mailings, as you do advertisements, social media posts, they all need to play off that central theme. If you don't have that one central thing, as Lane said, it's like the dog from Up. You're like, oh, a squirrel. Oh, look, a squirrel. Oh, look, a squirrel. It's whatever's on your mind that day. The problem is for your audience, for voters who think about politics on average 6 to 10 seconds a week, they're not going to remember what you say when every time you say something, it's different than the thing you said the last time.
And the big thing that you were saying with the theme is who will. You want to tell the voters what you're actually going to do for them. This isn't about you, this is about the voters.
Well, we always say, they're the hero of their story. I'm sorry to be the one to burst your bubble. Your grandma lied to you. You are not a special pretty little snowflake. Nobody cares about you, especially not your voters. You're the least important person in this process. The voter, the one you're running to represent, they're the most important person. As I said before, they are the hero of their story, not you. They don't know about you, they don't care about you. And so when you spend your whole time saying, here's what I've done, and here's what I'm gonna do, and elect me because I'm great because of all these reasons, they tune you out, they don't care. But when you focus on what you're gonna do to make their lives better, now suddenly you're talking about something they actually care about.
Yeah, because they have their own issues. They are worried about the cost of groceries. They're worried about just getting their kid from school to practice afterwards. You need to say why you're going to benefit them, why you're going to make their everyday life better and improve the community, because that's what's really going to move them to go vote.
So the other thing with your messaging is having 3 key issues, 3 main issues. These are the 3 things that I will accomplish for you. Why do we say 3? Because it's been proven. Our brains work in 3s. Just think about this. I said this to my wife a few months ago and it blew her mind. How many drugs out there are more or less than 3 syllables? There's a handful like Advil and a few others, but every drug you hear, watch every commercial, it's always 3 syllables. Everything in our lives are 3 syllables because our brains work in 3s. So you want to give them 3 issues. These are the 3 things that prove my theme. This is what I'm going to do, and here's how I'm going to do it. Make them action-oriented. If each of those bullets cannot be started with I will, then you did it wrong. I will blank. I will lower taxes. I will make water more affordable. I will make sure our schools are good for our kids. I don't know, whatever you're running for, but the idea is here's what I will do for you. 3 things, no more, no less.
And these need to be issues that matter to the community and matter to the voters. These are local issues. This isn't the time to be talking about federal issues or state issues. You're talking about running for trustee, running for library board. These are local issues, and that's what the issues need to be around.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all want to talk immigration right now. It's a hot issue nationally, but you can't do anything about that as mayor of your local town, or at least most likely you can't. And police chief isn't on the ballot. State's attorney isn't on the ballot right now. So right now it's what can you do for your community. That's what the focus needs to be. And then you use this on everything you put out. Again, consistency is key. So whether it's mailings, digital ads, video ads, audio ads, texting, whatever it is you want to put out to your community, it's always calling back to this messaging, your theme, and the three main things you're going to do to make people's lives better.
Yeah, we hear from candidates saying, how should I respond to this question, or what should I say to this voter? Well, when you have your theme and you have your messaging, that's your playbook, that's your script, and it alleviates a lot of stress knowing what you're running on and having it just in a document that you can always go back to.
Yeah, running for office is not solving all the world's problems. It's picking the problems you can solve and focusing on that. It's the Mother Teresa principle. If I think of the masses, I'll never act. If I think of the one, I will. Make the problem succinct. If you elect me, here are the problems we face. I will fix them. That's the clear distinction you want to make for the voters, and make it that easy and that concise. When you get lost in all these extra details and your long white paper solutions and your 700-word mail pieces, you lose people. It's simple, it's concise. Most of these local elections are simply name recognition elections. They rarely get into that persuasion section of the election process. It's who has higher name recognition, who do people like more. So don't get lost in a lot of other garbage. If you have a higher level race where you have to do persuasion, we'll talk about that in a future video. But for you, right now it's about your core messaging, your simple theme. Don't make this overcomplicated, and don't get dragged into things you really shouldn't be talking about.
And something that you shouldn't be talking about is the past. Don't be talking about your past accomplishments. Maybe something to highlight in a bio or something, but your messaging's forward-looking, what you're going to do, not talking about the past.
Yeah, I have this discussion all the time, and sometimes fight with a lot of my friends who are currently elected officials. You want to do the whole promises made, promises kept BS. I hate that so much, simply because it's backward-looking. Voters want to know, if I give you your vote, what will you do? Not what did you already do in the past. You did that because of the vote they gave you last time. So now they want to give you a new vote. What are you going to do for that one? You can say, I'm going to fix the roads, and you can trust me because over the last 4 years, here's how I made progress on that. So you can still use your accomplishments, but don't lead with them because they're past looking, not forward looking. Again, as we close down this video, the one thing I desperately want you to take from this is forward looking. What will you do for your voters if they give you that all important vote?
Last thing I would say is make sure you just maintain that consistency. Once you have those main points, use them throughout the campaign, and don't let your friend who said, oh, this issue is really big right now, and let that divert you from your message. Stay on theme, stay on message, and that's how you get most voters resonating with your messaging.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say our messaging and strategic experts at Core Strategies would be more than happy to help you with this and make sure you do it right. So give Lane a call. Don't bother me, but give Lane a call. He'll be happy to help you with all this so we can make sure you go out and you win. We'll talk soon.